Hello there, all you beautiful people. My name is Lebushki, and welcome back to another movie review. This time for The Sheep Detectives. Now, this is a movie that I saw randomly, and by that I mean I didn't really expect it to be anything crazy. You know, I saw the trailer for it. I think when I went to see another movie, I can't remember what movie, but it came up, and I was like, "Oh, that looks silly. That looks cute. That looks it looks nice and fun." But sure, whatever. All right, it's probably gonna be a fun little kids movie with a surprisingly stacked cast. But it happens. It is. It is what it is. I was not expecting this to actually be such a freaking fantastic movie. Like genuinely, it might seem I'm trolling right now. I am not. This movie is genuinely pretty flippin' awesome. Genuinely, I know. I know. Probably the biggest surprise of the year so far for me, I would say. But this movie's freaking awesome. But let me get into it. Without further ado, let's just hop right into the review for The Sheep Detectives. This movie has a deeply emotional message centering on belonging, acceptance, and grief. I was not expecting to cry over the Sheep movie. I cried over the Sheep movie. I had tears running down my face in the theaters because of the Sheep movie. Because of CGI animals being sad. I was also sad. Takes a real man to admit it, but there I was, in tears, with my wife sitting stoic, stone cold right next to me. Not a tear in sight. Sure, it made her sad, but I was in tears. Nothing more I can say on that. But there's such a rich and emotional story and message here on grief and death and the idea of forgetting what what you should know and what you should remember, and how your memories of people, of friends, of family, it's an honor to have those, even if they're gone, even if they're old memories. It keeps those that have died alive. And I was not expecting this level of commentary from the movie with sheep solving a murder mystery. And aside from that, there's also this big idea of accepting different sheep into your pack, into your flock. Sorry, flock. That's what groups of sheep are called. And I mean, there's a little bit of sheep racism going on. I'm not gonna lie. There's sheep that are born during a different time of the year, and they become racist towards them. The winter lamb, they called them. So that's pretty random. But once again, it was this idea of belonging to a group of people, of being, friends, of forming your own family, your own connections, and accepting these people, these outsiders, these different sheep than yourself. And once again, that was just another really beautiful element added to this movie that didn't need to be there. But I'm appreciative that it was included. Um, Additionally, there's some phenomenal voice work. I always kind of have a hard time with movies that center on a lot of voice work because it's kind of hard to get a real grasp on the performance or how good of a performance this is. I mean, sure, you can kind of set all the elements up so that it seems like they're giving a good performance. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are. But man, there's a couple scenes, especially like I said, the scene that had me crying. That scene was freaking powerful, and it felt real, and it felt very grounded, and it's one of those rare instances where I could feel that there was like something there in the actress who voiced the characters, that like they could even say, "Yeah, I've been here before," and it just, it drove things home for me. This movie also has some beautiful, lush scenery and some solid CG. Unfortunately, the sheep probably aren't real, especially not the talking bits. I think there was some, maybe a little, just a tiny bit of CG involved in that. But this movie is freaking beautiful. So randomly beautiful. There's lush, gorgeous fields, phenomenal greenery. It is very visually appealing, in the beauty that it showcases. Also, this was genuinely heartfelt and funny. Like I said, if I was crying, there was some good heart to it. I don't cry over a lot of movies, but if there's some good heart and a great message there, I will be reduced to a sobbing mess. And I have no shame in saying that. But this movie had some great jokes, some great bits that did make me laugh. Quite a bit actually. I was very surprised how funny some of this stuff was. And like I said, the heart element was of course phenomenal. All in all, this movie is sure to hit all the right notes while keeping viewers entertained and invested. It presents itself as a kids movie, which is what really got me because I wasn't expecting much. But man, this movie was great. It it had everything I could have asked. And you know what? Sometimes that's what you need. There's nothing better than a movie that subverts your expectations because it can teach you things not only about yourself but about how you perceive media and movies as a medium, if you will. And this was one of those instances where I was like, man, maybe I'm giving these PG or kids looking movies uh too much flack. Maybe I just need to be a bit more open to them because some of them tell some really great stories. And so, that's part of the learning experience. Everyone I'm 23, but I still can learn. I can still find new ways to appreciate the world and the cinematic art form. So I give this movie B plus, 85 out of 100. Hits all the right notes. Manages to be everything great. Like I said, CGI is a little wonky for the talking sheep, and there's some slight changes to it that I would make, but it's not a bad movie. It was a very very good movie, all things considered. So very impressive, very fun, very family oriented, family friendly. Definitely something that you could see with the kids, you know. And we also need more movies of that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you everyone so much for watching another movie review. I hope you all get a chance to check this one out. Definitely worthwhile. Pretty short too. It's under 2 hours. I mean, I guess that's short. Maybe getting your kids to sit down for that long is a bit harder. But like I said, there's colors. There's talking sheep. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they sit down for this? Check out the link in the description below. That'll lead you to a playlist featuring my other movie reviews. And of course, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about this. Tell me when and where you cried as well. I'm sure I've seen on Instagram other people were crying over this. I'm not the only one. So yeah. So thank you everyone once again so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take it easy. Peace out.